What's going on, guys? It's Vinny here, and today I'm going to show you how to replace your rear differential fluid on a 2017 to 2022 Honda CRV. This procedure will only apply to the all-wheel drive models, and it will be very similar to other year model Hondas. Tools and parts used for this is you're going to need a drain pan. You're going to need a 3/8 breaker bar. I just have a few options here. 3/8 extension in case you might need that. 3/8 torque wrench, pair of gloves, some rags, and then I have a Mighty Vac fluid extractor dispenser. That's going to be to fill up the fluid. And then of course for our parts we have 2 quarts of dual pump 2 fluid, and you're going to need 2 washers. The fill washer is a 20mm and the drain plug washer is an 18mm. You're also going to need a car jack and jack stands. Optionally you can use a ramp. And you guys can find links in the description for all the tools and parts used in this video. First step's gonna be to jack the car up off of all of its wheels and try to keep it on a level surface. For the front, I just chose to drive it onto ramps. And then for the back, I jacked it up and put jack stands. And if you were looking to see where the jack stands are supposed to be placed, there's this piece of metal right here on both sides of the rear. That is your pinch weld where your jack stand should sit. And that's a safe place to lift your vehicle. I also recommend to never just trust a single jack stand on either side. I also leave my car jack extended all the way up, just enough to keep a little bit of pressure on here in case any of these stands give out. All right, first thing we're gonna do is go under the rear of the vehicle. All right, now that we're under the rear of the vehicle, you can see on the left side, which is your driver's side up at the top, that is your fill plug. And then down on the right side, on the passenger side, you can see the drain plug right there. What you're gonna wanna do first is remove your fill plug to make sure you can get that off before we drain our fluid. All right, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your 3/8 breaker bar and you're gonna insert it into the fill plug up top, and you're gonna have to pull pretty hard to break this free, so just be very careful. If you can't break it with a shorter breaker bar, you could try to add a little bit of a small pipe onto the end to give you more leverage to break this free. Oh, okay. All right, that's broken loose. All right, we're gonna put this to the side. All right, now we're gonna come over to the passenger side of your differential. And you should see right here is our drain plug. All right, you're gonna get your 3/8 drive into that drain plug hole, and then you're gonna try to crack it loose, like so. You wanna aim your oil pan under there, and we're gonna go ahead and pull this plug out. Just be mindful, it might splash. And we're just gonna let that drain out nicely. You can also take this bottom drain plug and you can see that there's a magnet right on the end, and that's gonna catch all the little metal shavings and everything that come off of these gears as the break-in period happens. So what we're gonna do is take a rag and you're gonna wipe off that magnet, and you should see all the stuff that comes off of it. Get that nice and clean, and it should look like that when you're all finished. Now, if you did notice, there's no washer on here, and that's because sometimes it gets stuck on the differential, so make sure you pay attention to that. If it gets stuck, you just get a little flathead and you poke it, and the washer should come right out. Sometimes you can get it like that with your finger. All right, I just wanted to show you guys a comparison of the drain plugs and the washers while we're waiting for the differential to drain. So here's our 2 plugs. You can see they're obviously pretty different. Our fill plug is the bigger one, and our drain plug is the smaller one. The drain plug's always the one usually that has the magnet on it, and that's at the bottom to catch all the little metal shavings. And so we're gonna pull the washers off of these so you can see the size difference. Okay, so if I overlap these, so you can see one of them's a little bit smaller, and that's your drain plug. So it's a 20mm for your fill plug and an 18mm washer for the drain plug. Links should be in the description for this. All right, so I got our 2 new washers here. We're gonna go ahead and install those now. And just remember, these Honda crush washers, whether it's for your oil, your transmission, or your diff fluid, these are all one-time use. So after you use them and you do another service later on in the future, you're gonna wanna get new ones just to make sure you don't have any leaks. All right, once you see your differential fluid is just about done draining, you can get your drain bolt with your new washer and put that back in. And you're gonna wanna torque these down to 35 foot-pounds. Make sure you wipe off the excess diff fluid down there. And now we should be ready to fill her up. All right, and to fill this up, I'm gonna use this MightyVac fluid extractor dispenser. Got this on Amazon. I'll have a link in the description for it. Works great. So there's a few ways to do it. You can stick this tube in there and then pull this suction thing out and it'll suck the fluid in, or you can unscrew the front tip of it and we can just pull that open and I can just dump the bottle in there and then screw the cap back on. We should be ready to go. So I think that's going to be the most efficient way to do it. And then also once you have this on there, there's a close and an open, which is pretty nice. So to the left is closed and then you can twist this and it opens up inside, which allows the fluid to come out. So we're going to keep it closed. Just going to fill this up. Pull that a little bit lower. All right, sorry it's hard to get on the camera, but you're gonna fill it up like so. We can put our nozzle cap on. All right, we got 1 quart in our fluid extractor / dispenser. I'm gonna put this in the differential first. Our differential calls for 1.32 quarts. We're gonna install 1 quart first, and then we'll fill this back up and add the rest in. Also, just another nice feature with this, you can see there's actually a measuring thing on the side, and it shows you this goes up to 1.5 liters of fluid. And you can see the measurements all up the side of it. Just a cool feature of this little tool we have right here. So you're going to keep your drain pan under the differential as we fill it, because the way you do this is you're going to pump the fluid into this fill hole until it actually pours back out, and that's how you know you have the correct level, all assuming that you're on a leveled surface. So we're going to take our pump and twist this to open on the end, and you're going to stick that nozzle up in the hole, and then we're going to slowly pump this fluid in there. And I'm gonna try to give you just the side angle of what it looks like, pushing this in right here slowly. And I'm keeping an eye on the tip to make sure it stays in that hole. You can hear it going in. All right, and once you get to the end, there's gonna be some in this tip up here. We're gonna keep that raised as high as you can and pull this lever back out a little bit, and that's going to suck the fluid that's left in the tube back into the whole case of this. And then what we're going to do is just close our tip at the end so it can't come out. And now we're just going to add a little bit more to here, and then we're going to continue filling up the differential. Here I'm just going to add we're doing about a half of a quart here. It only calls for 3.2, but you want a little bit of extra so we can kind of overfill the diff and let the excess just drip out, and that's how we'll know our level's at the filled level. All right, we're just going to continue adding the fluid until we start to see it drip out. Shouldn't be too much more fluid that we need. As you get to the end of your bottle, you just want to go kind of slow because it can squirt out. And there we go. You can see that it's dripping down, which is great. I'm gonna pull that tip out, and there you go. That should be filled up now that you see it's dripping out the top. Next, we can go ahead and grab our fill bolt with our new washer on there, and you can reinstall that. Make sure you give everything a good wipe, clean everything off nice and neat. And the fill bolt will also be torqued down to 35 foot-pounds. All right guys, and that about wraps it up. That's how you replace your rear differential fluid in a 2017 to 2022 Honda CRV. If this video helped you guys out, please leave me a like. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I will get back to you. And if you guys are looking for more of this kind of content, then hit that subscribe button because there'll be plenty more coming your way. I appreciate you guys sticking around for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.